3.19 at Savatthi. Then King Pasenadi of Kosala approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to him, "Where are you coming from, great king, in the middle of the day?" "Here, venerable sir, a financier, the Pali word is Sakti. In Malaysia, we say Chettia. So this Chettia is like a financial person who lends money lender. Yeah, the rich people. So the king said, "Here, venerable sir, a financial householder in Savatthi has died. I have come after conveying his heirless fortune to the palace, as he died intestate. There were 80 lakhs of gold, not to speak of silver, and yet, venerable sir, that financial householder's meals were like this. He ate red rice along with sour gruel. His clothes were like this. He wore a 3-piece hempen garment. His vehicle was like this. He went about in a dilapidated little cart with a leaf awning." Let's stop here for a moment. So here the king is saying that this rich man, he had 80 lakhs of gold. There's supposed to be a great amount of gold, very, very rich person. And because he died without an heir, he had no children. So the king confiscated all his money. But the king was surprised because the king said he lived like a poor man. He ate his meals, sour gruel, that means left overnight one. Food left overnight he will eat. And then his clothes, he wore this hempen garment, coarse cloth. Only got 3 pieces of clothing, got no more. And his horse carriage was a dilapidated little cart with a leaf awning. So his lifestyle was like a miserable, poor person. But in fact, he was such a stingy person. He hoarded his money. Had so much money. Never used to enjoy it himself or to give it to other people to enjoy. So the Buddha said, "So it is, great king. So it is, great king. When an inferior man gains abundant wealth, he does not make himself happy and pleased, nor does he make his mother and father happy and pleased, nor his wife and children, nor his slaves, workers and servants, nor his friends and colleagues, nor does he establish an offering for ascetics and Brahmins, one leading upwards, of heavenly fruit, resulting in happiness conducive to heaven. Because his wealth is not being used properly, kings take it away, or thieves take it away, or fire burns it, or water carries it away, or unloved heirs take it. Such being the case, great king, that wealth not being used properly goes to waste, not to utilization. Suppose, great king, in a place uninhabited by human beings, there was a lotus pond with clear, cool, sweet, clean water, with good thoughts, delightful, but no people would take that water, or drink it, or bathe in it, or use it for any purpose. In such a case, great king, that water, not being used properly, would go to waste, not to utilization. So too, great king, when an inferior man gains abundant wealth, that wealth, not being used properly, goes to waste, not to utilization. But great king, when a superior man gains abundant wealth, he makes himself happy and pleased. He makes his mother and father happy and pleased, his wife and children, and his slaves, workers and servants, and his friends and colleagues, and he establishes an offering for ascetics and Brahmins, one leading upwards, of heavenly fruit, resulting in happiness conducive to heaven. Because his wealth is used properly, kings do not take it away, thieves do not take it away, fire does not burn it, water does not carry it away, and unloved heirs do not take it. Such being the case, great king, that wealth, being used properly, goes to utilization, not to waste. Suppose, great king, not far from a village or a town, there was a lotus pond with clear, cool, sweet, clean water, with good thoughts, delightful, and people would take that water and drink it and bathe in it and use it for their purposes. In such a case, great king, that water being used properly would go to utilization, not to waste. So too, great king, when a superior man gains abundant wealth, that wealth being used properly goes to utilization, not to waste. As cool water in a desolate place evaporates without being drunk, so when a scoundrel acquires wealth, he neither enjoys himself nor gives. But when a wise man obtains wealth, he enjoys himself and does his duty. Having supported his kin free from blame, that noble man goes to a heavenly state. This is the end of this sutta. So here, the Buddha is talking about a wise man and a fool. A fool, when he becomes rich, he doesn't know how to make use of the money in a proper way. So it doesn't benefit him at all. But a wise person knows how to make use of his wealth properly, enjoys it himself, make others enjoy it. And then because of doing charity, he goes to heaven to enjoy again in the future. The next sutta is connected to this one, 3.20. And the Buddha said, so it is, great king, so it is, great king. Once in the past, great king, that financial householder provided a Pacheka Buddha named Tagarasiki with alms food. Having said, give alms to the ascetic, he rose from his seat and departed. But after giving, he later felt regret and thought, it would have been better if the slaves or workers had eaten that alms food. Moreover, he murdered his brother's only son for the sake of his fortune. Because that financial householder provided the Pacheka Buddha Tagarasiki with alms food, as a result of that karma, he was reborn 7 times in a good destination in the heavenly world. As a residual result of that same karma, he obtained the position of financier 7 times in this same city of Savatthi. But because that financial householder later felt regret about giving, as a result of that karma, his mind did not incline to the enjoyment of excellent food, excellent clothing, and excellent vehicles, nor to the enjoyment of excellent items among the 5 chords of sensual pleasure. And because that financial householder murdered his brother's only son for the sake of his fortune, as a result of that karma, he was tormented in hell for many years, for many hundreds of years, for many thousands of years, for many hundreds of thousands of years. As a residual result of that same karma, he has furnished the royal treasury with his 7th heirless fortune. The old merit of that financial householder has been utterly exhausted, and he had not accumulated any fresh merit. But today, great king, the financial householder is being roasted in the great Roruva hell. So, venerable sir, that financial householder has been reborn in the great, the king asked, so, venerable sir, that financial householder has been reborn in the great Roruva hell? The Buddha said, yes, great king, that financial householder has been reborn in the great Roruva hell. Grain, wealth, silver, gold, or whatever other possessions there are, slaves, workers, messengers, and those who live as one's dependents. Without taking anything, one must go. Everything must be left behind. But what one has done by body or by speech or mind, this is truly what is truly one's own. This one takes when one goes. This is what follows one along, like a shadow that never departs. Therefore, one should do what is good as a collection for the future life. Merits are the support of living beings when they arise in the other world. So here, the Buddha is explaining the background, the story of this financier. In the past, he gave the permission to give food to the ascetic, but because later he regretted, he did not feel happy about it. So when the amma ripened and the wealth came to him, he did not know how to be happy, to enjoy it. So the Buddha says, it is best that if a person intends to do charity, do dana offerings, before doing it, he should be happy. Whilst he's doing it, also he should be happy. And after doing it, also he should be very happy. So in that case, if you are very happy with doing the dana, next time when the karma ripens, you'll be very happy, like enjoying it, instead of being a stingy old fool. So this person, as a result of giving to that Pacheka Buddha, was born 7 times in the heavens. But probably as a result of filling the nephew to get the fortune, he went to hell first for a long time. And then after that, he came back. He went to heaven 7 times, and after that, he was reborn in Savatthi as the richest man for 7 lifetimes. But each lifetime also, he was a stingy old man, never enjoyed his wealth or help others, make others enjoy his wealth. Right? And because of killing the nephew, each time he came back as a human being, he did not have any son, childless. So there are some people, because of karma, they cannot have children. So, but because he did not know how to create new merit by charity or sila and all that, now after he passed away, he went to the great hell to suffer for a very, very long time. A lot of people don't understand human beings. If you lead a very ordinary life as a human being without doing evil, you will, after death, you will most likely be reborn as a ghost. A lot of people don't understand why. The reason is because in the 5 destinations of rebirth, 2 are happy destinations and 3 are woeful destinations. Now, the happy destinations are heaven and human being. The woeful destinations are ghost, animal, and hell realm. So because we are born as human beings, we have the good karma to enjoy life. So as we live every day as a human being, we are using up our blessings. So it's very important to replenish our blessings. But a lot of people don't know the Dhamma, so they don't do that. So they just keep on enjoying their life. And at the end of their lifespan, they would have used up a lot of good karma. So they do not have enough blessings to come back as a human being. So they will naturally fall into the ghost realm. And then if they have hurt other beings, then they will be born in the animal realm. And they have done a lot of serious evil, and they'll be reborn in hell. So that's why it's very important that people do a lot of merit. 3.24. At Savatthi, sitting to one side, King Pasenadi of Kosala said to the Blessed One, "Terrible Sir, where should her gift be given? Where should charity be given?" And the Buddha said, "Wherever one's mind has confidence, great King." I think the Pali Text Society translation, they said, the Buddha said, when you are asked where should gift be given, the Buddha said, "Give wherever you like." And then the king said, "But Venerable Sir, where does what is given become of great fruit?" Then the Buddha said, "This is one question, great king. Where should a gift be given? And this another. Where does what was given become of great fruit?" I'll stop here for a moment. So Buddha is saying the first question and the second question are two different things. They're not connected. But actually the king meant, where should a gift be given? Is where should I give so that I can get a lot of merit? Then the Buddha said, "What is given to one who is virtuous, great king, is of great fruit. Not so what is given to an immoral person. Now then, great king, I will question you about this same point. Answer as you see fit. What do you think, great king? Suppose you are at war, and a battle is about to take place. Then a Khattiya youth would arrive. Khattiya youth is a warrior caste, one who is untrained, unskillful, unpracticed, inexperienced, timid, petrified, frightened, quick to flee. Would you employ that man, and would you have any use for such a man?" And he said, "Surely not, Venerable Sir." Similarly, the Buddha said, suppose a Brahmin youth arrived, or a Vesa youth, a merchant class, or a Sudha youth, a laborer class. who is untrained, unskillful, unpracticed, inexperienced, timid, petrified, frightened, quick to flee, would you employ that man? And then he said, surely not, Venerable Sir. What do you think, great king? Suppose you are at war, and a battle is about to take place. Then a Khattiya youth would arrive, who is trained, skillful, practiced, experienced, brave, courageous, bold, ready to stand his place. Would you employ that man, and would you have any use for such a man? Surely I would, Venerable Sir. The Buddha says, similarly, suppose a Brahmin youth came, or a Vesa youth, or a Sudha youth, one who is trained, skillful, practiced, experienced, brave, courageous, bold, ready to stand his place. Would you employ such a man? And he said, surely I would, Venerable Sir. And the Buddha said, so too, great king, when a person has gone forth from the household life into homelessness, no matter from what clan, if he has abandoned 5 factors and possesses 5 factors, then what is given to him is of great fruit. What 5 factors have been abandoned? Sensual desire has been abandoned. Ill will has been abandoned. Sloth and torpor have been abandoned. Restlessness and remorse have been abandoned. Doubt has been abandoned. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha says, this person, if you give to him, the merit is great, is a person who has abandoned 5 factors. These 5 factors are sensual desire, ill will or anger, sloth and torpor, restlessness and remorse, and doubt. These 5 factors are called the 5 hindrances. These 5 hindrances envelop us so that we do not have wisdom. What 5 factors does he possess? He possesses the aggregate of virtue of one beyond training, the aggregate of concentration of one beyond training, the aggregate of wisdom of one beyond training, the aggregate of liberation of one beyond training, the aggregate of the knowledge and vision of liberation of one beyond training. He possesses these 5 factors. Thus, what is given to one who has abandoned 5 factors and who possesses 5 factors are of great fruit. As a king intent on waging war would employ a youth skilled with the bow, one endowed with strength and vigor, but not the coward on account of his birth. So even though he be of low birth, one should honor the person of noble conduct, the sagely man in whom are established the virtues of patience and gentleness. One should build delightful hermitages and invite the learned to dwell in them. One should build water tanks in the forest and causeways over rough terrain. With a confident heart, one should give to those of upright character, give food and drink and things to eat, clothing to wear and beds and seats. As for the rain cloud, thundering, wreathed in lightning, with 100 crests, pours down its rain upon the earth, flooding both the plain and valley. So the wise man, faithful, learned, having had a meal prepared, satisfies with food and drink the mendicants or monks who live on alms. Rejoicing, he distributes gifts and proclaims, give, give. For that is his thundering, like the sky when it rains. That shower of merit so vast will fall down on the giver. So this is the end of the sutta. So here the Buddha is explaining to the king that the highest merit is to give to a person who had gone beyond training, that means the Arahant, an enlightened person. Here the Buddha is talking about abandoning 5 factors and possessing the 5 other factors. Now the first 5 factors if a person abandons, then he has attained to concentration, samadhi, development of the mind. But that is not necessarily an enlightened person, But the second 5 factors, if he possesses, then he is an enlightened person. So the Buddha finally says, a wise person should do a lot of charity and encourage others to do charity. And the merit will come back to him, just like the rain raining down on the earth. Now, this is the last sutta in the Kosala Samyutta, in the chapter 3, the simile of the mountain, 3.25. As Savatthi, Then in the middle of the day, King Pasenadi of Kosala approached the Blessed One. The Blessed One said to him as he was sitting to one side, "Now where are you coming from, great king, in the middle of the day?" "Just now, Venerable Sir, I have been engaged in those affairs of kingship typical for head-anointed Khattiya kings, who are intoxicated with the intoxication of sovereignty, who are obsessed by greed for sensual pleasures, who have attained stable control in their country, and who rule having conquered a great sphere of territory on earth. What do you think, great king? Here a man would come to you from the east, one who is trustworthy and reliable. Having approached, he would tell you, 'For sure, great king, you should know this. I am coming from the east, and there I saw a great mountain, high as the clouds, coming this way, crushing all living beings. Do whatever you think should be done, great king.' Then a second man would come to you from the west, and similarly a third man from the north, and a fourth man from the south, one who is trustworthy and reliable. Having approached, he would tell you, 'For sure, great king, you should know this. I am coming from the south, and there I saw a great mountain, high as the clouds, coming this way, crushing all living beings. Do whatever you think should be done, great king.' If, great king, such a great peril should arise, such a terrible destruction of human life, the human state being so difficult to obtain, what should be done?" So here, the Buddha, when he talked to this king now, he found that this king was so intoxicated with being a king. He said, "We kings, we enjoy life. And we are greedy for sensual pleasures because we have a stable control of the whole country." So the Buddha saw that he was too complacent. So the Buddha brought up a simile. The Buddha said, suppose 4 men from the 4 directions, north, south, east, west, came running to you and told you this high mountain is coming and crushing everyone in its path. So when it comes to you, you will also be crushed under the mountain. So you better do what you think is best. So the Buddha asked him, in that case, what do you think should be done? Then the king replied, "If, Venerable Sir, such a great peril should arise, such a terrible destruction of human life, the human state being so difficult to obtain, what else should be done but to live by the Dhamma, to live righteously, and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds?" And the Buddha said, "I inform you, great king, I announce to you, great king, aging and death are rolling in on you. When aging and death are rolling in on you, great king, what should be done?" Then the king said, "As aging and death are rolling in on me, Venerable Sir, what else should be done but to live by the Dhamma, to live righteously, and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds? There are, Venerable Sir, elephant battles fought by head-anointed Khattiya kings, who are intoxicated with the intoxication of sovereignty, who are possessed by greed for sensual pleasures, who have attained stable control in their country, and who rule having conquered a great sphere of territory on earth. But there is no place for those elephant battles, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in. There are, Venerable Sir, cavalry battles fought by head-anointed Khattiya kings. There are chariot battles, infantry battles, but there is no place for those infantry battles, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in." I just stop here for a moment. Here the king is saying, I have a great army, I have great strong elephants and fast horses and soldiers and everything which I can use to fight battles. But when death, aging, sickness and death come crushing in, rolling in, you cannot use all these soldiers, all these elephants and all that to fight it. In this royal court, Venerable Sir, there are counselors who, when the enemies arrive, are capable of dividing them by subterfuge. But there is no place for those battles of subterfuge, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in. Let's stop here for a moment. Here he says he has counselors. These counselors or advisors to the kings are Brahmins. These Brahmins are well known for their mantras, what we call Chao, Jiu. And these mantras are very powerful. They can work miracles and sometimes can harm others. So he says, but when old age, sickness and death come rolling in, even these Brahmins he cannot use to help him. In this royal court, Venerable Sir, there exists abundant bullion and gold stored in vaults and depositories, and with such wealth, we are capable of mollifying the enemies when they come. But there is no place for those battles of wealth, no scope for them when aging and death are rolling in. So here he says he has a lot of treasures, a lot of wealth. If enemies come, I can use the wealth to buy them. But in this case, when aging, sickness, and death come rolling in, all that wealth is useless. As aging and death are rolling in on me, Venerable Sir, what else to be done but to live by the Dhamma, to live righteously, and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds? And the Buddha said, so it is, great king, so it is, great king. As aging and death are rolling in on you, what else should be done but to live by the Dhamma, to live righteously, and to do wholesome and meritorious deeds? This is what the Blessed One said. Having said this, the Fortunate One, the teacher, further said, just as mountains of solid rock, massive, reaching to the sky, might draw together from all sides, crushing all in the four quarters, so aging and death come, rolling over living beings, Pratyas, Brahmins, Vesas, Sudras, Chandalas, and scavengers. They spare none along the way, but come crushing everything. There is no ground there for elephant troops, for chariot troops, and infantry. One cannot defeat them by subterfuge, or buy them off by means of wealth. Therefore, a person of wisdom here, out of regard for his own good, steadfast, should settle faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. When one conducts oneself by Dhamma, with body, speech, and mind, they praise one here in the present life, and after that, one rejoices in heaven. That's the end of the sutta. So here the Buddha is saying, every one of us will be crushed by aging, sickness, and death. Or they are coming in from the four directions. So there's nothing for us to do except to live by the Dhamma and do good deeds, not to harm others, and to learn the Dhamma, meditate, etc. Get as much merit as we can so that when we close our eyes, we can carry along all this merit on our long journey in samsara. In fact, if we are smart, our journey in samsara will be very short. Any question? What have we? Because last night and tonight, I finished 2 samyuttas. But some of the later samyuttas are a couple in Satipatthana Samyutta, 5 aggregates samyutta. They are extremely long. Take many nights. Every samyutta I got to cover. Yes. But this is a complete Samyutta Nikaya. I like to go through everything if possible.
Das tiếp perlu out again so okay suốt abui ý để là usually ikise ke pocket ya ini biking season
If you state a fact, it's not bad karma. What is important is the intention. If somebody asks you and you state a fact, it's not bad karma. But if you rumor mongering, talking bad to so many people about the certain monk, that is bad. So basically, what the intention is important. But as far as the merit of giving to monks, in the suttas, the Buddha said that the highest merit is to give to the Sangha as a whole. If your intention is to support Sangha, not a particular monk, that is the best merit. So it doesn't matter so much whether the monks practice or not. If your intention is to support Of course, like if there are many monasteries, then you can choose which monastery you want to go. Sometimes some people say, oh, because the Sangha means 4 months or more. So they think when they do dana, you must have 4 months or more. That is Sangha dana. Not, I don't think it's quite true. In fact, it cannot be true. Why? Because in the Vinaya books, the Buddha says, if a gift is given to the Sangha, say somebody offers 20 robes, and he says, these 20 robes is for the monk Sangha and the nun Sangha. That means the Bhikkhu Sangha and the Bhikkhuni Sangha. Then the Buddha says, these 20 robes should be equally divided. That means 10 for the Bhikkhu Sangha, the monk Sangha, and 10 for the Bhikkhuni Sangha. And it doesn't matter if you have 30 or 40 monks and you have one nun. Even if you have one nun, 20 robes should go to her. Because it is not actually to her, it's for the Bhikkhuni Sangha. So if she is alone, she cannot use 20 robes, doesn't matter, because it's for the future Bhikkhunis who come. So that one nun can represent the entire Bhikkhuni Sangha. So sometimes if a monastery has only one monk, and you offer for the sake of the Sangha, even though there's one monk, it still represents the Sangha. Because whatever offerings he receives, he's going to keep it for the future monks who come. So a lot of people don't understand. They must have 4 monks. Yes, it applies now. Because the merit now. But then, as I mentioned, the important thing is don't worry about that, whether the monk is virtuous or not. Just give for the sake of the Sangha. There are some people I've come across who are so greedy for merit that they only go after famous monks.
So that's a lot. Ich house a dream, hands, num, key, was,
I don't think so, because if certain monks or nuns not good, then if you associate with them, either you will, you get turned off and you might do something which is unwholesome. It's best if we can to avoid them.
true, yes.
You see, in the Vinaya books, initially the Buddha did not state what is the minimum age for novice monks. So there was a time when very young boys came to the monastery. So in the middle of the night, because there was no dinner, they started crying because they were hungry. So after that, the Buddha said they should be at least 15 years old before they are allowed to become novice. Otherwise, they cannot stand the hardship of a monk's life. So generally, the standard is at least 15 years old. But there are always exceptions, because in the like Theragata, sometimes you find certain boys like the Buddha could see that this person, even this young boy, 7 years old, but he is destined for enlightenment. So it's mentioned in the Theravada that such boys, their hair is shaved in the morning, and they are given the robe to wear. By the evening, they already became enlightened. It's a super breed of humans. So unless you have such exceptional cases, generally it's not advisable to accept those below 15 years. In fact, a few years ago, some parents wanted their children to become novice here, so we accepted them. Then I think there were four. One was 16, one was 15, one was 13, and one was 12. And the 12 and the 13, they being quite young, they were childish, and at night they opened the fridge and stole some dark chocolate to eat. So after that, now we decided that minimum age here we'll accept is 15. So married.